The episode begins proper with a party on the first breathable planet the crew have found in ages. The crew are celebrating Rimmer's death day, the anniversary of his death. The scene is quite funny, mainly for the drunk dialogue from Rimmer. The scene was filmed in a quarry in Wales, and this scene, added with the effective lighting, makes for an immersive scene. The very end of the scene involves Lister drunkenly piloting Blue Midget back to Red Dwarf, a short but effective visual joke. Back on Red Dwarf, Rimmer drunkenly tells Lister about his one sexual encounter with the ship's female boxing champion. This scene is pretty funny, mainly for drunk Rimmer and the comparatively more sober Lister in conversation. Everyone wakes up with 4 days missing from their memories. The cat and Lister have a broken leg each, and the black box, which records everything, has vanished. And so begins the main mystery aspect of the episode. You could call this episode a comedy mystery, and it wouldn't be a total lie. The immediate aftermath of waking up is pretty funny, mainly for Rimmer's continued obsession with aliens, which is once again brought up here. They soon start looking for the black box, which they soon find. When they get back to Blue Midget, they begin watching the footage on the black box. This does mean that most of the episode is told in flashback from this point onward. We don't cut back to the present day very much. Lister and the cat head to the hologram simulation suite, which is a pretty interesting location on Red Dwarf. The entire design of the suite is fantastic. We see archive footage of events that happened to Rim in the background. The whole concept of the suite is interesting, and I sort of wish it was expanded upon further, but what we get is pretty good. Lister then takes 8 months of his memory and gives it to Rimmer as a present. Rimmer then wakes up with those exact same 8 months that Lister experienced, including having a girlfriend called Lisa Yates. This scene is funny, partly for the downright absurd nature of it, and Lister having to go along with what Rimmer believes to be true. After a while, Rimmer soon links everything up, and that nothing to do with those 8 months made any sense, because Lister went to the same places at the same time, also with Lisa Yates. After some quick back and forth dialogue, Lister reveals that what he did in the hologram simulation suite. There's then a scene in the observation dome, which, just like in the last episode, is much more poignant than the rest of the episode. It's clear at this stage that the observation dome is a setting reserved strictly for scenes of emotion and pathos. The scene itself is pretty good, and probably the highlight of the entire episode. The previous 20 minutes or so have lacked that something. Possibly because most of this episode takes place in flashbacks. Lister agrees to erase the last 4 days of everyone's memories, and to hide the black box on a planetoid. All of the loose ends are wrapped up, and as far as I can see, it all makes sense. The final visual of the episode, if you will, when Lister finishes the jigsaw puzzle and it transitions to the end credits, is fantastic, and looks surprisingly good and effective for 1988. So, that concludes Thanks for the Memory. This episode for me is a bit of an oddity. As previously mentioned, it takes place mostly in the form of flashbacks, which, while not a bad idea, does seem like a bit of a simple way of telling the story. After the flashback side of the story begins, we only cut back to the present once. It's a bit peculiar that Rimmer, Lister, the cat and Holly are effectively members of the audience, like you and me. The jokes also fall a bit flat for me here. Not bad or cringeworthy, but it seems like they were less thought out than the ones in previous episodes. The investigation also doesn't last anywhere near long enough. I understand that there is a finite amount of time to tell a story, so maybe a few aspects could have been cut. Not the very beginning, the Death Day party was one of the better aspects of the episode. So yeah, Thanks for the Memory is a decent episode, but I just couldn't fully enjoy it. It does sometimes feel like it's a first draft script, and it's by far the weakest episode of Series 2 so far, but by no means a bad episode. The next episode is Stasis League.
If you liked this video and you are interested in what else I do, why not check out my other videos that I've made so far? And if you're really interested, why not click subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a video?